Good evening. Welcome to my first stream on Twitch of SimAirport. Hopefully, this is one of many episodes. If you're watching on demand via stream or YouTube, thank you very much for taking the time to do so. Please do let me know if you're watching live if there's any issues with volume levels. Obviously, we've got a bit of background music, but I don't want it to interfere too much with what's going on. Game sound is on, but again, quite quiet. So why am I doing this? Well, SimAirport's been out now officially for about a week or so, but prior to that has been on early access for a good 2, maybe 3 years. I remember playing it back in the original release days. It's a lot better since then, but it was still a great game. So I'm intending to basically play it through now as completed as the devs intend in the career mode. As you might have seen me setting up just now, we've got a decent balance here of £1 million. And what we're going to do is work through government grants as well, which is part of the full release of the game, which gives us some options to earn a bit more money. Now, this isn't a tutorial. I am fairly familiar with the game and the game mechanics, although some things might have changed slightly since I last played it. But I intend to kind of set up an airport, fairly small airport to start with, get it up and running, get it profitable, and then as it's profitable, we'll expand. So we'll probably sort of stick to about an hour for this first video if we can, just to get the initial groundwork started and get us up and running, and then we'll go from there. So we've got some stuff to accept here straight away. Basic airports. We've got a objective to unlock, which is build functioning ticketing security zone, get a gate and runway up and running, and get functional baggage claim. Obviously that's basic stuff, so we're going to go ahead and accept that, which gives us a bit of cash straight away, and then it'll give us some more cash once we've completed it. Passenger experience. We've got a target to place 10 litter bins and get a decent environment rating. We'll take that straight away as well if we can. I know that's locked. We're going to complete the basic airport stuff, I think, for anything else. So I know we can do this finance one, which is to accept a loan and build an office. Right, we're not going to do that just yet because I don't want to start off in debt. So I'm going to use the planning tools to give us to start us off with a basic layout. But before I do that, I want to clear these zones that are already in place. Where are zones? Don't want those, because I'm going to play about with that quite a bit. So we'll start off with putting in, as I say, some planning for where we might want to put our roads. And roads are double width, as you can see here. So I'm going to put in a rough idea of a layout. We'll come out slightly here, and the reason I'm doing this should make sense in due course, I hope. But basically what I don't want is any congestion on the main road, so I'm going to put deliveries and storage over here out of the way, and then move us out further here for our drop-off. There. And our pickups will be separate as well, and we'll put another route back to the main road here to avoid congestion. Pickups will dogleg down there, and then we'll put some garbage collection in over here, which again it just keeps it out of the way and stops traffic issues, hopefully, if I get it right. Then in terms of taxiways and runways, so I know from having played the game a few times the minimum length of runway you need is 90 meters, and each one of these blocks represents about 90 meters. So we'll use red for the runway, and taxi we'll put as sort of the grey colour. So we're going to we will leave a space blank at the bottom. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that'll be our runway. Taxiway we need a route off of. And to begin with, from there we could go ahead and put a stand straight away. To be fair, we might as well do, but that's going to leave us quite a long way from the terminal, so the terminal will have to be really big to stretch that distance. So I'm going to revise this. We'll move it along here a little bit. We'll put the taxiway like that. Oh, that's a bit messy. And the runway down like that. And hopefully when we come to put our structure in, that'll make a bit more sense. So we'll put some walls in. So what I'm going to try and do here is something I haven't tried before, and this might not work, but we'll plot the roads in. Now I've got what I know I feel quite comfortable with that distance. I'm happy to put the road network in. So just in case the roads don't actually line up with the blocks that I've put in, and they line up all right. So I'm going to use R, the rotate key, to make sure my directional arrows make sense. And then here you see this isn't quite lined up right, so we're going to end up slightly wonky here, but that's not the end of the world. Actually, I don't want that, do I? I want rotate. I want them all coming off this way. So cancel that. Road. Alright, there we go. We'll put that going down like that. Oh, okay. Now that's not quite going to work out as I wanted. Let's clear back. Well, wrong tool. As I said, it has been a while. I'm not always going to click the right button every time. Right, road back this way, then we'll go like that, and we'll have it coming up here as well. We'll have a return road for anyone that needs it there. Same here, we'll have a garbage route up here with a return road for anyone that doesn't need to go around the garbage loop. And that should work out okay, so we can go ahead and clear off those planning lines. And hopefully that will make sense once it's built. Now, zoning, we need a construction, so where are we? Drop-off zone, no, delivery zone, sorry. So we're going to stick this here, nice big delivery zone, and we're going to stick up in here a storage zone as well. Give ourselves plenty of space should we need it. Then I'm going to try and do something a bit different on this map, something I've done before, which is to put the pickup here and include that in the structure of the building. So we're going to begin now with putting some foundation in. So foundation, and we'll run it. Can we run it right up to the road? Let's go back a couple of spaces so we've got a footpath, just in case it doesn't work. We'll go. Let's see if we can go 12 deep and afford it. Yeah, that's okay. That leaves us with 600,000 to sort out the runway and the taxiway, so that should be all right. And we should be able to fit everything we need in there for now. Okay, let's before we forget, get in the runway. Concrete runway and taxiways. Oh, and I've just realised I've gone too far with the construction anyway, because I need to put my gates in here. So we will cancel that completely. This is why I paused the game before I start, because if you make a mistake and you've started laying stuff down, it becomes really expensive to fix. So we want small gates, aircraft gates small. And let's see how many we can get in here. So if we have, assume our last one would join in there. We don't need the gap right at the bottom. The gap at the bottom is just to get round the runway. So we'd have 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's just make sure that's right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, 1. So this one is probably going to line up best with where we're building our airport, because the white hash lines are where we're going to access the gate from the terminal, and that lines up okay with our roadway. If we go down here, oh, okay, that was stupid. If we go too far down, actually no, that'll be all right. Yeah, let's do it on we'll do it on the third gate, and then it's central as well. So 2, 3. We'll do it on this one. Get it the right way around. So that kind of forces our construction down this way a bit, but that's okay. So we'll build a terminal foundations. We'll start it parallel with the third gate here, and we'll take it about halfway down. Yeah. Oh no, we'll go. Actually, let's go all the way. Why is that showing a 0 cost? Because we've already ordered a load of material. That's why it's showing a 0 cost. Okay. Now, how far out do we want to go? Yeah, we want to go right out to there, don't we? Yeah, that's okay. Good. Okay, now we need to get some builders on site and unpause the game. 6 should do the job. We need a drop-off zone ready. Okay, that's fine. So zone drop-off. Where are we? Drop-off. Now, can we? Now we can put the drop-off. All right, we won't to start with. We'll start the drop-off zone just here and we'll make it quite small. Need to try and remember to move that before we get fully into the game. And we'll put pick up. Where are we? Pick up. Pick up. Pick up. Pick up. Can't read. Let me do that 3. Yeah, something like that. Not ideal for our later setup, but for now it'll do the job. And then garbage we'll get in before we forget. I need to chuck that down here. And I'm going to leave a bit of a gap to the road because I want to put some decoration around that because it's not the prettiest thing in the world. And that's everything we need to drop in externally, so we need to just let these guys crack on with building now, really. Where are we? Staff 4. Yeah, we want 6 in total, don't we? There we go, and that'll be more than enough to keep them busy. There's obviously a lot of supply coming in at the moment. Where are we? Okay, so once they're up and running, we need to upgrade the runway straight away as well, and we need to. Oh no, is that taxiway not? Have I not plotted that? I haven't plotted the taxiway in full, have I? We need to make sure that's done whilst we have the money. Oh. There we go. So once we've got the outside constructed here, I'll start marking off the internal areas. So we know we need a ticketing zone, followed by security, and then we need basically a waiting area for the planes, and we need a toilet for both male and female, both inside and outside the security area, and we need a baggage claims area. What I like to do as well as at the start is make sure the baggage area is obviously down near pickups. Ticketing will be up here, and between the two, put some toilets so passengers can actually cross through, could go either way through. Just for at the early stage of the game, it means you don't need to end up with a third set of toilets in your pickup area. So once packs are outside of security, they can basically access one set of toilets from either side. It doesn't really matter. It does mean you get a few people cutting through for facilities, but in the early stages, that's, to be honest, better than spending out on and needing the space for 3 sets of toilets, is what I found in the past. Unfortunately, this is as quick as the game will run, and because I put all of these roads in, it's going to take a little while to get going. And what I must actually do as well, whilst we have the chance, is put the fence line in so that we have a secure area. And we'll run that from. I want to leave room for my ATC down here. I like to have the ATC here, and I want to leave room here for expansion of the terminal. So we'll run the fence line. Unfortunately, make it quite expensive because we're going all the way for now. But it's necessary to keep the unsecure and the secure area separate with a physical barrier. Now, whilst we've got the cash, I also need to get to research, and we want... I don't want everything straight away, but I do want finance. I do want the COO, and we're going to need construction as well. So we'll unlock. Oh, should we unlock construction? It's quite expensive. I think we do need it though for. Where are we? There's a tool that is really, really helpful, which is called Clone, and it needs a foreman with an office, which is unlocked by that. So yeah, we do need that. Yeah. So by the time we're up and running, we'll be able to get finance open, and we're going to need finance because a good way to get some cash early on, I've noticed, is through this investment tab. Basically allows you, once you've got a finance office up, a CFO in place and up and running in an office, you can basically put in small amounts of money to get large amounts of money back. So for example here, 50,000 in for a 125 reward, here £100,000 in for a 225 reward, and then the tops. So then it goes up quite significantly from there. At which point there's a bit of risk involved, but you know, we'll see how we go. Certainly getting to this stage, tier 3 is definitely profitable, and we'll make sure that we're in credit. As long as we don't need to borrow huge amounts of money, we'll be all right. Now the other thing I want to do here is this. Oh, that's part of the gate, isn't it? Is get the second gate in pretty sharpish, because you don't make profit with one gate. Really, you need 3. But let's have a look at gates. Even small gates. Oh, okay, they're on the discount. Oh, why are they discounted? I don't know, but I'll have 2. If they're going that cheap, we'll crack on and put both of these in, so we can start making money as quickly as possible. And we'll renumber these gates once they're built. Now, what we do then need to do is extend our construction straight away, but we'll do it. Put that to about there. That gives us 5 usable spaces. So there we go. We'll go to there and then do the same thing down here. Just literally go one past the gate. It's a lot of money, but it's worth it to get 3 gates up and running straight away. And we're going to be putting in the security infrastructure and ticketing infrastructure for at least 3 gates anyway, so we might as well. Oh, what has happened to my road work? I did not do a very good job of completing that. Right, roads. That's a bit crap. Completely missed that one. There we go. Everything was still accessible, but it just looked a bit daft. Okay, good. So they're doing all right, bless them, given there's not many of them. But yeah, if you do, I found again, if you go too crazy with the workers early on, you run out of money very, very quickly. Then you end up firing, and that costs you even more money. And having 6 around again is a good number for managing a small airport in the early days, because these guys will not only do all the construction work that you need doing going forward, but also they manage the baggage system to start with. So rather than having to build a really expensive baggage conveyor network, you end up having these guys running little carts backward and forward from the ticketing desk to the gates, and then from the gates to the baggage claims area with the bags on the back, like you would do it, like you'd be in any sort of small regional airport, which doesn't have a full-on baggage system. So fairly realistic in that sense. Now, concrete runway is still under construction, so this is where we're going to come a bit unstuck with money. Is we're going to be limited to certain flights unless we can spend some money on runway upgrades, and I can't remember how much they cost, but they're not cheap. So we need to put lighting on the runway to be able to run PM and night flights. We need to put an ILS system in for obviously bad weather conditions, as well as PAPI lighting to help with poor visibility. So without those, you kind of limit yourself to only running reasonable weather in the morning and early afternoon. Once you get into evening and night flights and poor weather flights, you have to have the upgrades. We'll just have to wait for that construction to finish before we can see what we need to do. Hopefully this won't take me too much longer. It looks like they're focusing on that now. I'm sure they're not much further off. Unfortunately, I can't do much with this because they've managed to leave the walls unbuilt on the floor, but not the walls. So everything at the moment is part done, which is kind of typical when you play this kind of game. I could prioritise the project, but to be honest, it won't make much difference now at this stage. Looks like they're nearly done with the runway anyway, and that's what we need to check out on. Or check up on even. Okay, we're done. Right, so let's have a look at the upgrades. So we've got lighting systems 25,000, 20 for the ILS, and well 7 twice for the puppy light. So yeah, it's going to be 50 over 50 grand, but we have the money, so let's get on and do it now. So there's the lighting system done. We're going in. ILS we'll put just to the side here. In fact, we might as well put it in the gap between the runway and the taxiway. We're never going to use that space. And then puppy lights we need to put at either end near the runway. I don't think it really matters in game if you put them facing the wrong way, but I like them to face the right way and look like they're doing something constructive. There we go. Makes it look a bit more realistic. Right. Now, let's hopefully this will be completed very soon. Looks like they're focusing on this, on getting this done now. But let's make it urgent so they don't move on to anything else until it's done, and then we can really start seeing what we're doing. So I'm going to need to put in doors. And we'll put in 2 lots of large, well, 2 lots or 1 lot of large sided doors there. We'll have 1 lot at either end. And we'll prioritise that as well, because until that's done, I can't find out whether my little test on drop off and pick up areas is going to work. Okay, so I'm going to just pause the game for a second, and I'm going to remove the drop-off zone. Let's see if I can place it inside the building, and it looks like we can, which is great news. Is that about halfway through? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? What's that? 2, 4. Okay, so it needs to be 1 more this way. Let's clear that out. And we'll zone drop-offs to there and make it a bit narrower. And we'll plan a wall. That's going to need to be a bit longer. So I'm saying pickups. to clear the other one first. The reason I'm doing this is I found in the past that having these zones outside is fine, but your packs don't particularly like it, and particularly in the evening, if you get a lot of flights come in late, you'll have a large number of passengers just stood outside in the dark and the wet, waiting for collection, and they just damage your numbers quite badly, or they can do. So by doing this, hopefully I'm going to avoid that, and they'll get the benefit of the internal environment all the time that they're here. And we need baggage claim to be here, and we're going to extend that. Should we put that a little bit? We'll make that a little bit bigger. Let's take it. Actually, we can make it really big. Thinking about it, we don't need it to be that big, but we'll bring the planned wall all the way along there. That gives us space then for the toilets. If we were to do that, make it long and thin. Yeah, let's do it like that. Clear those out. We'll make the pickup a bit bigger. And we'll clear zones. The mess we made there. There we go. Because this is going to be a security. We'll need a security gate here. Can't spell security exit even. We'll take that the right way. Nope. That's it. Ball. Right, now we've got our line. I'm quite happy to put that in. And then we're going to end up with 1, 2, 3 deep. 10, 11. So is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces? Would be, wouldn't it? Okay, clear that. I want to put toilets in here, so let's make it an even space. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a gap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, good. We'll take that up to there, and this will be our basically unsecured toilet block, if you like. We might as well have the game playing now. We're only doing silly stuff. So we'll have a door here, 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 and here. Toilets. We'll have, now I'm not sure if I can get a toilet and then a sink opposite it. So we'll give it a try. No, right. So in that case, we will clear that. What if we go sink like that and then toilet? That way. We do. Yeah, we can. Good. I'm sure we can do that as well. Yeah, so we can still get 2 sinks in and 4 toilets. So that's fine. We'll do the same on this one. Oh, blocks the door a little bit. We need to move those doors. Cancel that. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do it that way round. Sinks. So, there and there. And we'll put the doors here and walls. I love this search function. It just, if you've got at least a vague idea about what it is you want to build, it makes life so much easier. And we want decorative tree. Must remember the name of that. I do like a decorative tree. It just instantly sorts out the environment rating anywhere. So we're going to be having a few of these on either sides of both lots of doors internally. They are quite expensive, but they are absolutely worth it. So that kind of level of placement should be sufficient to sort out the environment in here. If you look at the spread. I mean, you can't really see it until they start building it because the floor's not helping, but it will massively improve the situation here. So now we need to get in some ticketing. So ticketing desks. I said we'll go straight for the volume that we need for this size of airport. So we'll have 3 ticketing desks like that. I will put the queues in a moment, but what I do like to do first of all is create a funnel to security. So walls again, I'm going to come off of here, around about here. Oh no, we need to, yeah, so you've got dog legs to this toilet, but that's okay. So we can put some vending machines there or something to sort sales out. How much width do we need? 2, because we need 2 security queues. The queues will go there, and this effectively will be the security check area. And then we'll go down to here. So we're going to zone that off all the way down here to force packs right down to the end, leaving a gap for where the security exits are, like that. So then effectively we've created a nice security zone. We can put some retail stuff in here. We'll put some toilets in this area between the gates effectively, so that once they're in security they have somewhere to go. Well, actually, in fact, well, we can set that back a bit. We don't need it to be so big, and that'll help us to create a nicer toilet space. So yeah, let's do that, because the ID check stands are going to be here. So we're going to come through this little gap. Yeah, we can, and we're making a bit of a small corridor there, but that's okay. It's not a big airport, so a small corridor is not necessarily a bad thing. And that will form the wall for this toilet block. So we'll do the same as we've got here. We'll get 3 wide effectively by 5 deep. 4, 5. There's our line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That works out perfectly. Anybody would have thought I planned it. Well, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't believe that for a minute. To be honest, I don't believe it. So, and we'll do doors. Oh, wrong button. We don't want flight plan just yet. Doors just there. Let's see if we get a slightly better layout, because we don't need this door on the bottom business. So let's go with 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, that'll work quite nicely. 1, 2, 3. Oh, what's happened here? 2, 3. I only went 4 deep. Right, cancel this. Oh dear. Marvellous. Right, there we go. That's better. I knew it wasn't perfect. I told you it wasn't. Nobody believed me, and I've done a cracking job there of blocking the door. Okay, let's door. Oh, I forgot you could switch between them as well, so that's great. No door. Cancel project. There we go. Take the wall out as well. Brilliant. Door. Rotate wall. There we go. And we want sinks again. You can see money is already a problem, but we will fix it. Sinks like that. Oh, see, now that's interesting. That's saying that location was fine. This one is not. 4250. I'm not sure how you get up the grid reference to know where that is, but apparently something's blocking it. Okay. Let's not worry too much about that. Let's see if we can get it in somewhere else in there. Is it just because it isn't rotated properly? No. See that? Yeah, that'll do. And then we'll go with our little decorative tree again. Oh. How bizarre. Yeah, something about that square it's not liking. I might have to come back to that. I really don't want to do that. But I think I'm going to have to. It's the trouble with these small environments, it's very crammed in, but hopefully they can work their way around that. I wanted to get bins in there as well, but I think I'm pushing my luck. We'll try. Okay, so we can have them by the door, let's have them by the door. Here though, not so much. This is going to be... Oh, there we go. Okay, good, because we need to get 10 of these in to satisfy passenger criteria. There's one there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But we need 3 with the gates when we've at least 1 by each gate once we open that up, so that'll be fine. Now, we've got the ticketing desks, we need security. We need where are we? ID stand, we need 2 of those. We're going just there. We need a bag scanner, we need 2 of these. We're going to put them going that way. No, we're going to put them going that way. Oh dear. I did make that a bit tighter than I wanted to be fair. Okay. That's okay, right, okay, we're going to have to sort this bit of wall out here, aren't we? Cancel. Door. We'll bring this out a bit further, I think. Okay, that might be alright. Body scanners. Okay. Toilets are always a problem. Right. We're going to have to pull this security checkpoint back a bit now. No, I don't want to do that because then we're going to end up with space issues down there. Let's what should we do? I don't want to make that any narrower because I need the queues and I need queues for tickets. I could potentially go back. We can push this out a bit further. No, we're going to have a depth issue still. Okay. We like a challenge. Right, let's can't really mess about with those toilets anymore. Let's just put 1 body scanner in for now. Let's see what the impact on throughput is. I think it's going to be pretty poor, but oh, mind you, that's just insufficient funds there, not a placement issue. So yeah, we will be able to get 2 in there. Okay, that's fine. It looks crap, but we will get 2 in there. But we're going to pause for a second because funds are getting very low, and I do need to get in gate desk here. Yeah, that's good enough for now. We need some benches, just some basic benches for now. So we'll put a row facing out. I like a row facing out the window. Is that enough? Now we're going to need to leave space here, so this lot's going to have to go up here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're out of money. Right, queues, expand. So we've got a queue for this thing. It's going to go. do. And then we need queues for ticketing, so we're going to have one which is just going to be a short one really for first class, and then this one is going to be a bit of a snake. And for the ID stands, again we'll have 2 there. And that's quite a quick check, so we can sort those out in a minute. Information's the other problem we've got now, and I don't think I can afford to do anything about it. 1,000 each. Okay, so we will have to come back to flight info and beautification once we've got some flights in. So let's run forward a bit. We're going to go a bit bankrupt. We'll get a bit short on cash anyway in the short term, but we'll be fine in the long run. Speed things up a bit. We need to demolish. Where are we? Clear. Clear that bit of wall. That's the wrong clear. Oh no. Cancel that. Don't need to go down too well if I take that bit of wall out, because we have an exposed toilet block, and you know, I think people get a bit funny about that kind of stuff. Right, back to full pace. To be honest, I probably shouldn't have put this extension in at this stage. That's what's done the damage, but it gives us a very quick way of getting the third gate on when we need it. So if we can survive the first sort of few days, the first sort of 48 hours, we'll probably have to take out a small loan, but you know, that's by the by. If we've got 2 gates, then we've got a chance of making a small profit. 3 is a bonus. Let's get our zones in whilst messing about. So we've got a ticketing zone, which is this area here. What I haven't got is any mobile ticket machines, so I might alter that queue a bit to give me a bit of space to do that along here, as long as it needs to be anyway. Security will start here. Down through here, covers this area and this area, and then they're out of security, so I should be able to put some vending machines along here. Once we've got some money. Not a priority at this moment in time. What we really need to do is sort the floor out for the passenger rating, because they're going to hate the floors in here, which means beautification is a major problem, and information we have nothing. So yeah, we will need some proper cash in the not too distant future, but I want to get the first 2 gates up and running first. Yeah, I haven't got a gate desk for that second gate, have I? Okay, so yeah, we will have to borrow some money very soon. Right, let's get that doorway sorted. So we need a gap here. Well, I say a gap, we need a door. Which means we do need money. Okay, right, we haven't got a choice. Let's get this loan sorted. We have a poor credit rating, which means a bad interest rate, but we don't need that kind of money. We probably only need about 100,000. Let's say 150. If it's going to be sub 2%, that's okay. 1.37. Yeah, let's take that. Okay, so that's £2,000 interest a day, but we should be able to pay that off pretty quickly once we've got 2 gates up and running. As long as we sort our staff out properly and don't have any sillies. So door, small sliding door here, small sliding door here, another gate desk up the top. Gate agent desk up there. We'll get the queue sorted for that. We'll shorten this queue actually, whilst I remember now. 1, 2, 3. See, that feels too short now. We're going to have to extend that to there, I think. That wall, I don't know where that wall's going to leave us room for ticketing machines, but we'll try. Ticket machines, ticketing kiosks. So these just allow people to check in. How much are they? 1900. Yeah, okay, that's the one. Allow people to check in when you don't have any baggage. And also, I found this first thing in the morning. If you put your schedules wrong and people start turning up too early, they'll just use us to check in rather than waiting for your desk staff to turn up. Right, on retail, we need to put in some machinery. So vending. Oh, it's really, actually go to retail. I've got a better chance of finding stuff in there. Where are we? Cash register, drinks vending. Okay, put one here and one along this corridor here. I'll have them in this bit, I think. Down here and one up here. Electronics, food vending. We'll have those there. One there. Oh, okay. Did not mean for that to happen like that. Food vending. Electronics vending will just have the one over here, and I want a news kiosk as well, which you can have without having a kitchen. You don't need food for it, but it is extra sales. I do tend to like news kiosks. Where is it? Newsstand, there it is. I'll put one over here and one down here for departing customers. Now queues, we need to sort that for up here, so we have again that can work? Yeah, that seems to be okay. That's okay. Looks a bit scruffy, but it'll work right now. Floors. This is where it gets a bit pricey, so I'd like to have. No, I don't want floor actually, I want carpet on it. Construction floors, there we go. So these are 50 quid. Carpets are what I prefer. They're only 50 quid as well, so that's fine. So we're going to put the light blue carpet in, drop off some ticketing. Is that a bit of... Oh, that's wall dog bed there, yeah. So I was missing wall there, but I'm not. We'll have red in security. We'll start that from the start of the queue, just makes life a bit easier. Okay, I'll have that down there as well, so people feel like that's a secure area. And then I like the green carpet in this area. Stone or 0 in the toilets and in the toilet doorways. I'm getting confused as what's what here, but I think that's about right. Just can't remember where the doors are. I want to say there and there. Yeah, that's right. And then baggage claim area, we can go with that lighter carpet. That's going to be in pickups and baggage claim. Right, and then That's not too bad. So it sorts our floor, which is going to help with the decoration. Information, that was the major one that was missing. So flight info displays. Now these ones are 3,400, so these are very expensive, but cover a huge area if you can get them placed. Correctly. So yeah, put that in there, and that's all of the pickup, sorry, the drop off and whatchamacallit covered. A small one in security would probably do the job. Yep, that's fine. Except I don't want it there because that's going to block the one there, and can't go there. I won't be able to go there either. And one there will be fine. One in the corridor. That works quite nicely. That basically covers everything. If I do that, I just need one small one at the top. Okay, and then that's the beauty stuff, because we are pretty good now. Objects, comfort, petrol. Now it's going to have to wait till the floor's down, so I just can't see what the impact is. But until everything's dropped off now. And the staff, I know I'm going to need 5 of those. Security, I've got 2 desks, 2 bag checks. I'm going to have 2 scanners, that's what I need, as well as that other body scanner. Scanner. Oh, it's not usable. It's usable there. Good. I knew it would work. God bless you. Right. Just about squeeze them in one way or another. We are winning. Well, we're not winning, but. See, now we've not zoned these. That was stupid. Oh, God. Right. Female restrooms should always be closest to the doors because ladies don't want to have to go too far. That's really sexist, but you know, I'm trying to be nice. There we go. Men can walk a little further. I know it's not. I put your urinals in, so it doesn't really make a difference, does it? What else we got? I am going to need maintenance at some point, but we can wait for that. Electrical, we don't need just yet. Conference rooms, yeah, no, we're okay. We've got a good setup. Office block we'll do when we've got our loan repaid. Because we basically can't do it until we've got our loan repaid, and I think that's part of the government grant thing was, yeah, accept a new loan. Yeah, research finance, accept a new loan. So we're basically there on that one. We just need to build the office block. How are we doing on our basic airport one? Build a baggage claim, build a function gate, build a functioning ticket and security. So I'm not sure why ticketing zone isn't functioning. Did I not actually zone it as ticketing? I didn't actually zone it as ticketing. How did I miss that? No, I have. Ticketing is zoned. Where's my zone overlays? Which one is it? That's not it. Yeah, we've got a ticketing zone. Not secure, not secure, not secure. Secured. Secured. So that's all set properly. Is there a connection? Do I need to do some connecting? I do. I need to connect queues and stuff like that, don't I? Okay. Right. That was really stupid of me. So that is going to be assigned to that. Can't do it yet, it's not been built. This one can be done. Assigned to that, and you are S2. And the reason I'm doing that is S is for small, and I'm going to count them down from the top. So it's actually going to be S1, 2, that's going to be S3. That's going to be S2. And that's going to be S4. Okay. You're linked. And then I need to assign that. I need to assign to that. No, assign to that. Ticketing zone, assign to this queue, but we're going to take off coach from that. And then this one we're assigning to this, but we're going to take off first class. Got 2 queues for coach, 1 for first class. This one, security. We're going to assign to it. No, desk, give me the desk. Assign to no coach, just first class or flight crew. And this desk assigned to this one, which has just coach. Okay. Now let's see what that says now. Yeah, we got those bits. So this one, we get 50 grand now, 100 grand when we're finished for running for 2 days, building 2 ticketing kiosks and 3 normal Excel flight info displays, and scheduling at least 5 flights. So we just need to schedule the flights, and we've done that one. Okay, we'll schedule them now because we've got time for the builders to finish their work, and we'll schedule them on this gate for now, gate 3, because this one's still a bit of a work in progress. So let's see what airlines we've got. We want people who'd like us already. WestJet like us, and we only want small flights. So WestJet, Aerotime. See, that's good. I like an airline that's going to give us lots straight away and a good balance. So we're going to take them, and that's pretty much going to fill the gate to start with. They're all gate S runway 90 minimum. And they're all a good mixture of passengers as well. So are they using the CRJ? So it's all E195s and B737s. So E191 for E195 is 90 passenger maximum, and 737 is 140. So as long as we're sensible, there's only one 737 anyway, which if we make that the first flight of the day, or the first flight of the afternoon, and give it a bit of space, then we won't have a problem. So we'll take all of those. Yes, we're going to make them very happy. So let's get these in first. That's max 90. Let's go on gate 3. Max 90. We don't really need to leave much space, but I'd like to leave half an hour. We really don't need it. There's the 737, so that's going in there. We get at least 30 minutes. And then the evening flights. That's pretty good. Okay. Right. That's gate 3. Scheduled up. None scheduled today. We'll probably have some stuff sorted in tomorrow though. What is this? What am I clicked on here? I don't know what I'm clicked on to. Oh, that ID stand. Right, and now we can, here we go, we can assign you to there. And close that, and then we can assign that gate to this queue, which is for everyone. And that should have triggered. Oh no, it's fine. That should have triggered some staff requirements, really, but it doesn't seem to. I've got 3 guys in here, got 1 on there, so I've got the 5 for that already, I guess. Security, 2, 4. I do need 6 security, which I've got. Janitors, right, we're going to have 3 of them because we're going to need them. Chef we don't know yet. We do need 2 retail workers because we've got those 2 new kiosks going in, so that will sort that out. Now we can take on another airline because we've got gate 2 sorted as well. Pacific's got 5 flights for us and they quite like us. Lernyville, so they've got a huge amount of flights, but I'm not going to be able to scratch the surface of what they want to do, so we're going to have to leave them until we're much bigger. Otherwise I'll just upset them in the long run. So it's 3, 4, 5 flights, so 2. I reckon we can fit in the 3 AMs. Yeah, and I think we can take WestJet as well, to be honest. A320s, they're all A320s, which is 150 passengers. That's a lot to ask, but we'll do it. Ooh, 4 flights now. Oh god, what happened there? Is that because it changed halfway through? 1, 2, 3, 4 on there is going to be difficult. Let's what happened? Oh, we've ended up taking them. Okay. Right. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to rebalance this a bit. So we'll leave half an hour between. Half an hour between. Half an hour between. And then we're just going to have to shunt these up slightly. In fact, I might swap them around because that's the one that's the challenge. 10, 20, 30. 10, 20, 30. 10, 20, 30. Okay. Yeah, if we put that. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 3. Now we can fit. Ah, right. I know what happened there. I know where it went funny. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, we have 10 airlines in until we have. Oh, loads of money. Right. Until we built our ATC tower, which we've now unlocked. That's why we can't get anything else going on there. So we're going to stick that in there. Once that's built, we'll be able to fill the schedule. It's all good fun. Right. And then we'll be probably in a place where we can call it a day. Here we've done about an hour. An hour and 5 minutes so far, so yeah, another 5-10 minutes just to get this layout up and running and hopefully see our first flight in. And then we can call it a successful day. Yeah, this is why we're getting this. You're in trouble message because we haven't yet built the ATC. Right, we're getting there with the flooring now. I am going to pay off that loan. There we go. That might. Yeah, there we go. We have now completed as well the basic airport, which is great. Or basic airport tasks, passenger experience. This was to place the litter bins and get the satisfaction up, so we can definitely take that. Airline services. We can't have any more at the same time anyway, so until we've got this one sorted, which is build the office for the CFO, we're not going to be moving that any further forward. We'll focus on passenger experience, which is get the 10 litter bins and get the satisfaction to 60%. Let's get the litter bins in. Garbage bin. Can't be bins because there's only one of them. One back there. I'd like to have them at the ends of rows. One by the gate there. One by the gate there. And that's good. Once they're built, that should be all of the ones we need, to be fair. I'm sure we'd already put in at least 6. Comfort. No, what am I looking for? Decor. Let's get these trees in. We have packs in here. Is that runway working? It's very red looking. I know why it's red. Alright, I'm going to clear that in a minute. I have figured out why. And it's mostly because I'm a bit of an idiot. Oh, I know. Right. Another tree there. Tree here. Tree there. Tree here. And a tree here, and then this should be a very pleasant place for our packs to be. And if we do some external stuff as well, such as outdoors only proper trees, then this becomes a very, very pleasant place to be. Not the best spacing in the world, but I don't want to spend a fortune on putting trees. If I can avoid it. Right, here we go. See, baggage claim is working. Why is that tree so why is that so negative? Is the floor not done yet? Floor's not done yet. Yeah, we've still got a lot of flooring to do. Should be. That's the most beautiful place in the airport. All of this floor still needs doing as well. Come on, boys, hurry out. It's only floor. Right, yes, I was going to sort this out, wasn't I? So, when we did the planning, I did not clear any of this planning zone, which is why we've got that funny red colour underneath. So just clear it all out, and then that looks much nicer. First plane's in. Let's make sure it does its job on time. So, when was it due in? So it was due in at 6, it arrived at 5:30. Oh, what is that? What's happened there? We'll deal with that in a minute. All unloaded, nearly all boarded. Let's speed up time a little bit. Baggage on. Not due out for one more packs to go. There he is. Even about 100 minutes early. Due out at 8 o'clock, leaving at 6:23. So yeah, it was only due to be on the ground from 6 till 8. I think that's right. Am I right in saying it? It's due to be on the ground from 6 till 8. And it's long gone at 6:30. So we're okay in terms of throughput at the moment. And we've not already got any overlaps. Now what is this planning? Clear. Yeah, it's just where I must have dragged the cursor out before I closed that. Are they around the right way? Yeah, the lights are there. And these guys, no lights. Okay, good. Right, well, if that answers the question, you can have internal pickup and drop off, which is going to mean this number shoots up, hopefully, pretty quickly. We have got retail for them. We have bathrooms for them. What we're missing, obviously, is proper food service and entertainment like an arcade, but to be honest, at this stage, we don't really need it because they're not waiting around long enough for that to be a problem. So we just really do need to get this ATC sorted, and then we're good for the day. Oh, we have a couple of packs here. first class arrival, coach arrival. Oh, they've not been there that long. Where's my pickup bus there? Let's just fast forward a little bit. So here's my drop off bus. Oh, is that my pickup bus? Oh good, they're coming the right order. Yeah, there we go. Oh, 2 pickup buses. That's unusual. Oh no, that is drop offs. Okay. In time, obviously, these will not be close like this. So, just so you're aware where we're heading with this, this will become an internal expansion for things like shopping. This will end, the lower area here will end up with the corridor will end up with a sort of baggage area. So your pickups will end up here, and the drop-ups will be up here, and we'll expand this way as well. So drop-ups will be right at the top of this area, pickups will right down the bottom of this area, and the bit in between will be the retail pass. We'll still have this concourse that will run the full length for all 5 gates to start with. Once all 5 gates are in and we're making good money on the small gates, we'll then start putting the upper level in, and we'll flick these gates over to having stairs so they're boarded from the upper level, and then we'll move departures and arrivals upstairs and keep check-in, security and baggage downstairs. That will then allow us to get bigger. By putting bigger gates in, we'll end up expanding. We'll have obviously a second runway, at least a second runway. Then we can expand gates and go from there. We might well in fact end up leaving this as a small terminal and then building an international terminal over this side using the same idea, with dual runways, etc. And then we'll put in a ramping system for gate access. For arrivals or departures, depending on what way around we decide to do it. Okay, so we are nearly there with the flooring. How are the flights doing for the day? Next one's not due until 8:30 anyway. We are well spread out until this. Have we had 2 today so far? No, they weren't scheduled until the small hours of this morning, which is why they've not come in today. Not the end of the world. However, we have at least gotten on to day 4 in such a place that we should get our signing bonus today. Our perfect completion bonus today. So there's an ops bonus you can get on a daily basis if you hit these triggers, which is at least 1 flight, at least 1 passenger boarded a flight, no one missed a flight, no flights delayed, no cancelled flights, and you get a bonus. And it works out as about $100 a day per flight. And then every day that increases by $100 per flight, up to a maximum of, I think, $2,000 per plane per day, which takes a while to get to, but it's worth having. It can definitely make the difference between being successful and not being successful. So we should get that on day 4, and then start getting it going forward, which is good. It just helps build finances a little quicker. Right, let's fast forward time, get rid of that horrible background noises for a little bit, because they're driving me insane. And this is all decorative garbage bins, decorative. Right, they should be coming to build the ATC now. There we go. Which means we can finish the flight schedule and then call it a day. Okay, here we go. Come on, boys. And girls, obviously. I'm sure there's lady builders. I don't think I can see a list of our staff, actually. I don't know. No, it doesn't give you any names or anything. They just exist. They all look very similar. They all look like blokes. Yeah, hard to tell, but anyway. Generic workers. last of the plants going in, and the trees, and then I think construction is done. Yeah, we've got 6 workers doing nothing, so we've finished building everything. Right, what is all this? Ah, okay, that's spares from all our messing about, so I can... There is a cell thing, I think. Area cell. Magic. Much easier than clicking on one at a time, gives us a bit of money back. Bargain. So, let's sort out this airline traffic. So we can definitely afford 2 more afternoon flights. And we can probably get away with 1, 2, 3 night flights, maybe 4. We do not have space for any more morning flights, so that kind of limits us at the moment to Pacific Airlines we're already working with, so we'll take that night flight. Why does that not... What's happened there? Weird. Okay. 3. Okay. Well, are we working with WestJet? No, we're not. Or Juno. Well, we don't have to take all their flights, do we? So who do we like? We Aerotime, we've already taken everything we've got. Pacific, we've taken everything we want. They're the N2 we're working with at the moment. Let's make life a bit easier for ourselves. We'll start working with these guys, but we'll only pick and choose what we want. So, oh, okay, right. Well, the beach is NAF, so it's the Bombardier Dash 8s, D8Q400s. They're quite handy. They're handy little gap fillers, aren't they? It's a rather small airline. To be fair though, a lot of these are big flights, so we could probably do with a few smaller flights, because if any of these big boys have delays, no, let's not be chicken about it. Let's have a look. What does Union Air have? Oh, they're in a similar situation. They don't really have anything big in the evening. To be fair, why would you have anything? Oh, these guys have Starflight 737 max 140, and that's a 90. So that's similar to what we've been doing, but they've only got the 2, and they don't have any afternoon flights. Now let's be brave. We'll just only take the Dash 8s. So we want 2 afternoon Dash 8s, and we want for the night. Let's take 2 for now. Dash 8 PM accept. Let's see what that looks like. So 10, 20, 30. 10, 20, 30. No. 10, 20, 30. Yeah, see, that pushes this on. Yeah. That's just about right then. 10, 20, 30. Yeah, 1900. Now, how has that ended up not on 21? I don't know, because it should be. Okay, well it is now. And then that's on a half hour to a half hour. That really should be right on the end there, shouldn't it? Oh no, it's okay. No, it's okay, because that's at the end of there. So that is the 30-minute gap. It could do with, just for my poor eyesight, it would be really nice to have these gaps here, but you know, can't always get what we want. Right. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that for today. We will have to sort out employee schedules tomorrow, because we're going to have a lot of dead labour in the middle of the night, which we need to cut down costs on, because our labour costs at the moment are forecast to be £13,800 a day. In fact, we've got a P&L breakdown. No, we haven't got that yet, because I haven't put an office yet, but they're estimating £13,000 a day, and aircraft income is only estimated to be about 10 grand a day, so we'll be well off making any money, and this will erode very quickly. So we will sort out staff tomorrow. We will also try and open this area up and get the third gate running, and if we do that successfully before the money's run down, we should be in a profit situation, and then able to start putting offices in and start making even more money. Right, okay, I think that will probably do us for today. So thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate your patience if you've hung around on the live stream. I hope for those of you watching the video after the fact that you find it enjoyable. Let's get this game saved. Give it a name. Stream 1. There we go. I say I hope that's not too boring for you. I will be aiming to stream on a fairly regular basis. I want to get out at least 1 or 2 of these a week. Obviously we'll have to see how we go. I can't make any promises at this stage, but obviously the more interest there is, the more I will try and push out videos on a regular basis. But as I say, for those of you who join me, thank you very much. Have a great evening, and look forward to seeing you in the future. Bye bye.